Hi, it's a Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to do a quick update on some recent drugstore purchases I made, let you know my thoughts after having used them for 2 weeks. This is one of those things that I am trying to be better at doing in this new year. So if there's ever something you see me try but you don't ever hear back, ask me in the comments below. This is like my beauty New Year's resolution, to let you know about the things that I tried. All right, so a couple weeks back, I did a video where I talked about products that I'd been influenced to buy by other people. And I thought we'd check back on those guys today. Emily Noel is one of my favorite beauty YouTubers, and I feel like she and I have a very similar skin type. I feel I'm a whole decade older than her, but that's neither here nor there. But I feel like we wear a similar style of makeup. She does usually a little bit heavier eye than I do on the daily, but I'll tell you, I always get inspired by her color combos and things. And so when she says she likes something, I instantly perk up. And one thing that she talked about loving so much was this matte foundation from Catrice. This is their HD liquid coverage foundation. The bottle says two things that to me are very contrary. One is mattifying and the other one is second skin effect. I was like, how can you be mattifying and still look like skin? Those things do not go together, because I usually think of something that looks like skin having a slight, not quite a glow, but it doesn't look like a porcelain doll. And when I think of something that's mattifying, I think of something that looks like a porcelain doll. I have really liked this foundation. Now, I am not an everyday foundation kind of gal. I'm just gonna be honest. And in the last 2 weeks, I realized I picked up 3 new ones, which is so weird because I keep telling myself, you don't really wear foundation. What are you doing buying it? But this is really good. And at a drugstore price, I really like it. The thing that I like the most is that it wears for such a long time, but it still doesn't ever make my skin look dry. It doesn't age me, make me look older than I am. It really sits beautifully on the skin. I feel like this applies best with a damp beauty sponge. I feel like I see it more sitting on top of my skin when I'm using like a buffing brush, a foundation buffing brush. So if I'm using, you know, something that looks like this, it'll look okay. But then if I go over the top of it with the damp beauty sponge, I feel like either I pick up the excess or I press it in. I'm not sure which it is that I'm doing, but I do prefer that look. And so I find that I feel like it goes on just a little bit better and looks more skin-like with the damp beauty sponge for me. But remember, I'm almost 46. One of the other things that was a recommendation from Emily Noel was this. I'm wearing it today, and okay, long story short, I do not wear eyeliner. I kind of thought that my days of eyeliner were over because I have a really leaky left eye. And this is Milani's Waterproof Stay Put Matte Eyeliner. It says 17 hours, and I've never worn it for quite 17 hours. I think the most I got was like 15 or 16. And then I washed my face at the end of the day, but this doesn't really go anywhere. I really like this. The one thing, if you see any black in my lower waterline, that's from the kohl pencil I had in my tight line, but this stuff, it's really dark. My one quibble with it is the fact that it is a felt tip applicator, and it's not as flexible as I would want it to be. It can be a little stiff, but if you're careful, you can get a really nice line out of it. I do have to, I'll go through and I eyeline in short little bursts, and then I'll have to go back in and fill in like any spots that I feel like need something. But once this stuff dries, it's not going anywhere. And the fact that I still have this little teeny tiny baby wing, it's not really a wing, but it's about as much of a wing as I'm gonna put on there, surprised me, because by this point in the day, it's well after dinner, it's like 9-ish at night. I still have this on. I'm truly impressed. This really is the first liquid liner that didn't let me down, because years ago, before everybody kind of boycotted, Kat Von D was using that tattoo liner that didn't stay. I remember using some Lancome, their Grandiose liner. That didn't work for me. I used some Korean liners. Those didn't work. There were so many that I would put them on and it would look great, But then on my left eye, I would have like a little patch, like where I'd start to tear up and I'd kind of like dab at it and it would start to erode here. And the next thing I know, the last third of my eyeliner was just like gone. It had disappeared. It got eaten away by the tears and me constantly like dabbing at it and doing this, which is what I do all day long. Because if I just let that little thing collect, I'll either get dry and crusty in the corner or it'll start to collect and then fall and then I'll be missing like a little tear of makeup. Okay, this stuff doesn't go anywhere and I'm so impressed with it. I mean, it's also, once it dries, it's not going anywhere. I'm not getting any over here. That's pretty awesome. Another recommendation from Emily Noel were BH Cosmetic eyeshadow. She specifically was talking about the Naughty palette. I am trying to stay away from eyeshadow palettes I know I'm not going to continually reach for, and larger palettes, once you get over a certain size, it just is unwieldy and overwhelming and I can't handle it. I am that person who smaller is better. If you can handle it, great. But I decided to try one of their travel palettes. This is the Beautiful in Barcelona. I have reached for this so much. I really, really like this. I'm only wearing 3 shades today. It's a really easy look. I've got a little bit of this in the crease, I've got a bit of this on the lid, and then a little bit of this on the inner corner. And I've been doing that sort of thing a lot. And I love that you have a little bit of warmth, but then you also have a lot of cool in here. And oddly enough, I have used Picasso a handful of times. I did use it in that video, but I normally don't reach for blues. And I'm not like, it's not like super dug into. It's just been like lining my lids with it or something. But I normally don't go for blues at all. I really find that this is a beautiful formula and the mattes in here blend so well. I really like this palette and I like that it leans kind of cool. So if you were to like cover up like maybe 4 shades in here, like these 2 guys here and these 2 guys here, it kind of leans really cool. It's taupey, it has kind of a pinky purpley undertone. You know, you have some like this berry here and some of the blues. It really does have a gorgeous cooler tone, and I've been doing some cooler toned looks with this, using like these 3 guys here right across the top. So pretty. Really, really like this palette. It has a nice mirror in it, and I like that it has kind of like this tiled appearance. It's very, you know, there's a lot of tile in Spain if you're not aware of that. There's a lot of mosaics, and I like the packaging. I like that it's slim, and I like that it's not too big. During that same video, I tried 3 other things that were new. Some of them just new to me. I fell in love with this Voluminous L'Oreal primer. I have for years used the Lancome Seals Booster. I don't think I'm gonna pay the $26.50 anymore because this stuff is under $10 and it's really good. Really good. So I fell in love with a brow pen in 2020, and I wanted to know if this new Lift and Snatch brow tint from NYX, that's basically this little pen here, was the same as the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pen, which I absolutely love. So I swatched them for you here. This is the ABH, and this is in medium brown, and this is the NYX, and this is in ash brown. They're remarkably close. The difference that I noticed in the component themselves, I feel like if you're, let me go, the ABH is a little bit chunkier, and the brush tip on the NYX is just a hair skinnier, but you do get really fine control with the ABH. You're paying $10 more for the one from Anastasia. I feel like the Anastasia one, it has a slightly more matte appearance in my brows, and if I ever get too much in one place, I can use a dry spoolie and I can kind of spoolie through and it really softens the look. If I get too much of this in one place, I find that it is a little bit shiny when the light hits it. And I also find that if I try and spoolie through, oh, I got too much, I'm trying to spoolie through, it's like gone. And I have to start again. And the weird thing is there's like the faintest, like maybe 10% of the product left. And as I go to put more on over the top to fill in that gap that I just spoolied over, sometimes it doesn't lay as well on it. So this is one of those that I got to get it just right the first time and not need to spoolie. but I feel like the brow pen is just a hair more forgiving. Now, I think this would be great if I had, like, this brow is kind of fuller all the way through and just need a few places to place hairs in, but this one stops right here and then I have 4 little hairs, so I do a lot more drawing. I feel like the ABH handles the let's pretend we have more brow hairs than we actually have a little bit better than this does. But if you have really beautiful full brows and you just have a gap here or there where you just like a hair just never grows, this will be perfect and you wouldn't have to pay the $20+ for the ABH. This is a really great pen. The last thing I tried, I'm gonna have to return. It's from Milani. It's their Supercharged cheek and lip multi-stick. So this is one of those. It's I love the color. I like the color when it's blended out on my cheeks. It's so pretty because it's that really beautiful plummy look. The only problem is this has a lot of, I don't know whether it's oils, if there are butters in here, something makes this really emollient, and then it continues to feel greasy. And not hydrating greasy, but like break down your makeup and whatever foundation you have underneath it, peace out greasy. I have used this 4 times, and every time I've used it, 3 times over foundation concealer, but before powder, and it just broke up everything. And I tried it with a sponge, I tried it with a brush, I tried it with just my fingers, like lightly tapping to not disturb the product underneath. The only way I was able to successfully use this, and only for a portion of the day, was on a day when I really wasn't wearing much. I was wearing a little bit of concealer here. I was wearing this on the lips and the cheeks, and as I was patting it out for color, it looked lovely. It looks beautiful on bare skin. This is not a product I would layer over makeup because I haven't been able to figure it out. Brush, fingers, sponge, didn't work. But over bare skin, it looks great, but it didn't stay all day. And I know it's a multi-stick, and I feel like multi-sticks, if you're gonna be, I can use you here or there or anywhere, it needs to look good everywhere. And I feel like it looked okay on the lips, but you didn't get any precision because it's like a giant chunky stick. And blending it out on my cheeks gave a really nice glowy look, but it was at times a little streaky and it didn't last all day. Didn't look the best on the lips, looked better on the cheeks, but it didn't last. So this is a total pass for me. I'm gonna return this to Ulta. This is not something I would recommend to you at all. It's too finicky, and unless you're never wearing anything but a cream cheek product, this is probably not for you. All right, thanks so much for watching today. I do have some other things I'm still trying. There are a couple of other drugstore cream blushes that I'm trying in lieu of this, and those are going pretty good. But I will get back to you with more updates on recent purchases. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if there's anything you want me to try that you've been curious about. I would love to know what that is. Have an amazing day. I will see you again soon.